Hey YouTube, it's BLite914CK. I actually want to talk to you about this deck I've been working on for a while now. This is my Noble Knight deck, or as I call it, Warrior Bunny 2. This deck was born off of a deck that I made originally using Rescue Rabbit and Noble Knight Artorigus because I wanted to make some use out of him. And then when Gawain came out at Return of the Duelist, I came up with this deck. It's a very, very aggressive build, and it can FTK really hard for it can FTK really easily and really hard, using the fact that it can spam rank 4s, Miser 7, and the exceeds that acquire 3 rank 4s. So it stops a lot of the decks that require you summoning bigger monsters than what you have. And without further ado, I'll get down with the deck profile. First, we start with 2 rabbits. Rabbits, kind of self-explanatory for the fact that I run 6 normal monsters, which is Noble Knight Artorigus and 3 Dark Blades. Now, Dark Blade is just in here for the sheer fact so I can run BLS. But he's also another rabbit target and also gives me quick access into Excalibur. Artorigus is a light and can be used with Gawain. Gore's honest, kind of self-explanatory. Gawain for the fact that he can special summon himself when you have a light normal monster on the field, which means, like most people, when I first saw this, I thought Elemental Hero Alias heroes are gonna suck even more. And then when I saw Artorias, it's like, you know what, I'm just gonna use it with the card it was made for, and it turns out it works very well. Next, we have the triple Gawain and 3 Photon Thrashers. Photon Thrashers in here for a main reason that I can special summon out of my hand, not so I don't have to use up a normal summon, and for the fact that when I'm about to go for my rabbit play, if I have a Thrasher in hand, I can go Thrasher first and then go rabbit. So just in case this rabbit gets Veilered or something, I still have another play to go for a rank 4 exceed. And it just makes it's a good another light target, which makes it great. Next we got 2 Silver Sentinels. It's good for setting up back row. It's like when you set a bunch of back row, like you say you have both of these in hand, you set them both a bottomless and Shard of Greed. Now, what's your opponent's first natural reaction? I'm going to MST or heavy it. So that's when Silver Sentinel's effect activates. When he's destroyed by an opponent's card effect, he special summons himself and then pops a card, which is a nice plus because it also offers me some protection from things I can't get over. And for the sheer fact that he special summons himself and he's a level 4 warrior, which means more Excalibur, more Blade Armor Ninja, which is always good. After that, we got Staples, Dark Hole, Reborn, Heavy Storm, Triple MST. I like 3 MSTs in this deck because I do have, if I'm going to go off, I like to make sure I have the extra insurance. And then this is another TCG exclusive, which is Noble Arms Gallatin. It is one of the best equipped spells I have ever seen in my life. And top decking into this while you have a Noble Knight in hand is amazing. Because its effect is you can only control 1 Gallatin, equip only to a warrior against 1,000 attack. During each of your standby phases, it loses 200. But the plus comes from if this face-up card is going to be destroyed, instead of the graveyard, you can target 1 warrior type Noble Knight monster and equip this card to that target. And the effect of Gallatin can only be used once per turn. The only downside to this I see is that I can only control 1 and it can only be used once per turn, so there's no multiple chaining. But for the sheer fact it gives an attack boost, and if I have drawn 1 Artorigus on 1 Gawain and there's something with 2500, 25, 26, 2700 attack, all I gotta do is go Gallatin, and they're set. And if the sheer fact that if your opponent MSTs it, that it comes back equipped to that same monster. So it's really a minus for them if they use their MST, if they waste their MST on this. Alright, and so I really like this card. I wish it came super in the pack. It came common, but that's my dream. Next we got Avarice, Rhoda, and my draw choice for this, I tried Duality first and I just didn't like it, but my draw choice is Shard of Greed. For the sheer fact that it allows me to draw 2 after 2 turns. Some people may say this is just a little bit slow, but it really doesn't matter when I'm just wailing on you with bigger monsters. And for the sheer fact that it baits people into heavying so I can get my Silver Sentinel plays off. And I just, since there is no Pot of Greed and Jar of Greed sucks, and Duality really isn't good for this build because all I'm doing is special summoning, this seemed like the best option. Next we got two Bottomless, the Solemn Trio, two Starlight Roads just in case you do need that back row. So you got your you have your Starlight Roads to protect the back row, and when you finally have your field set up, that's what these Starlight Roads are for, and one Torrential. And that essentially does it for the main deck. And I'll move on to side extra deck now. You got double Stardust for the Starlight Roads, two Blade Armor Ninjas. This is a DN only thing. I change this up when I'm playing this deck in real life, but it's Constellar Omega and Miser 7, just in case I need to need to get over something bigger than second turn Excalibur or Ninja. Gem Knight Pearl, triple Excalibur, kind of obvious because Excalibur is the nuts. Shockmaster, because this is really easy to pull off with Thrasher, Artorigas, Gawain, or Rabbit. Two Utopias, may go down to one, I'm not sure yet. One Thunder Spark Drake, I really like this card. For the sheer fact that it only takes 3 level 4s, and in case when it attacks they drop Gores, I can just blow the field. So it's really good. It's a really good protection just in case there's something you just can't get over. And you have the combo of Thrasher, Gawain, and Artorigas or Rabbit. And it just allows you to, it's just good protection and insurance. And one Vylon de Sigma because he's the nuts as well. Because for the sheer fact he can take monsters and then he becomes Catastor for that type. And for my side deck, I'm still working on this, but I sided in Heroes because I can do it. I can keep the Gawains, just side out the Dark Blades, the Artorigas, and Honest, and BLS, and I stick Heroes in. But yeah, that's essentially the deck. This deck is a it's a project of me working on it for a while. Came from a lot of thought, a lot of back and forthing, and it actually does pretty well. I've gone well, except for today when the 6-man player I was playing had the perfect setup with the first turn Gateway, Dojo, and United. But I've pretty much gone undefeated on DN with this deck because the sheer fact that it can explode first turn. Like I played Dino Rabbit, I beat Dino Rabbit, and I don't know. I guess you could call this deck cheap. The only thing that may be expensive is the double Rabbit, but and BLS. But the rest of this deck was fairly cheap for me to attain because I had most of the stuff. But tell me what you think. Like, favorite, comment. If you have any suggestions, I am open to suggestions because I really like this deck and I would really love to improve it. I just need some help. And if you want to play me on DM with it, send me a message and I'll play you. Alright, thanks for watching, you all.